Yeehaw! Yeah, you know it. Where are you? You're in Piper's Pit at Podcast One. And holy cow, things are growing. I got my pit crew with me. You know, of course, if I don't have an entourage, you know, how can I be like Zsa Zsa Gabor? Zsa Zsa Gabor's had so many facelifts, her nipples in the middle of her forehead. That's terrible, pit crew. You should not say that kind of stuff. So, here we are. I'm not sure even what show number we're on. We're getting into the 40s and the 50s. You guys are being great. Hello, how you doing? I got two amazing shows, but the best one is this one right here. Before we get into that, let's do a little commerce here. Remember my daughter in college that you're supporting? Yeah, well, she's walking the streets at night to stay in college during the day. You want to, click the Amazon thing. There's tons of stuff. RowdyRowdyPiper.com. There's a brand new graphic novel. You're going to dig it. I'm telling you, it looks so cool. I don't do anything that's not cool. Well, streaking through the NAACP convention might not have been cool, but most things I do. I got it all out of bubblegum, soda pop, and a bubblegum following it. I got my pit crew got me up on Instagram. I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Apparently, I'm a big deal. Christmas is coming. There's just so many things I've procrastinated on. I'm still working on Christmas 206. But if you go to RowdyRowdyPiper.com, they got their stuff in order. I'm telling you. Fluffy ducks we have on RowdyRowdyPiper.com. Buy stuff for the Christmas now. Going to come out with a new Christmas T-shirt. Got lots of things happening. Lots of things coming. Guests of the future. We got like Bobcat Goldthwait, John Carpenter. So we're a heavy-hitting show. We are. We're going to get Lassie. Woof, woof, woof. That's Timmy. I gotta go. And and the only man in the entire world that really can understand me is the man that I have right now. And I want to not be silly about this because sincerely, I don't know of a better man or more of a man's man than this gentleman I'm about to bring on the air. And I can tell you that because I rode day and night with him for 3, 4, 5 years. And what a backup. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one of them. Give it up for Cowboy Bob Orton. Ow! Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the introduction.
Boy, though, the only thing, Bobby, is it's to introduce you properly would take a day and a half. I don't, yeah, and I know this is an awkward way to start a podcast or any media, but like, Bobby, you were so good. And I just tell the fans, and we're going to have Twitter questions come in, Bobby. And for those that don't know, this is the great Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. But we figured out this is back in like the 80s, early 80s. Hank Williams had a song out, and we adapted it to Bobby. Says they don't call Bobby Orton Jr. anymore. Nobody. One time I remember Bobby, we're at a bar, and Bobby's sitting back. You know, Bobby he's very cool till about the 7th Heineken, and because it's got preservatives in it. Baby Jesus. Bobby, what was my thought there? You don't listen to me either, right?
No, not at all.
Thank you. You're probably watching as the stomach turns. Just a man's man. I was going to tell you a story, but it'll come back to me. Bobby, what school did you going back for the fans a little bit, what school did you attend, like high school in? What geographically in the United States?
Well, Dad wrestled, of course.
Yeah.
So I went to, 4 different high schools.
Holy cow.
So my last one was in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, and that was your last one?
Ruskin High School. I was a senior there, graduated from there, and
wow,
let's see, 68.
Wow. Again, for those people that don't know, Mr. Orton Sr., I had the honor of wrestling this gentleman. Well, I couldn't say that. I just did a lot of air miles. You know, he wrestled his little buns off.
I find that hard to believe.
You know, nobody messed with Mr. Bob Orton.
Here,
you know, Bobby, here's something that you and I might have talked about years ago when Randy was just a little boy. I remember us sitting in a parking lot for about 2 hours talking about Randy and some other stuff. And, you know, I take a look at yourself, Bobby. For you to come from out of your dad's shadow and accomplish what you've accomplished. At the very beginning, like, because I got my own son Colt, you've, of course, got Randy, and you've got Ethan, who...
Nathan.
I'm sorry, Bobby. Nathan, thank you.
Yeah.
What was it like for you, Bobby, when everybody in town knew that you were son of the great Bob Orton Sr., but it's still at that time there was that black cloud, you know, over it? And
well, it certainly helped me become tough because back in those days, you know, you had to fight. And these guys saw who Dad was, and they all wanted to try me.
Sure. Sure, they didn't want to try him.
Fight, you know, at a pretty young age. And what's funny is after a while, you know, nobody messes with you anymore. You know, whether you win or lose, you know, if you'll fight, 90% of the people don't want to mess with you anymore. Just
interesting.
Just the way of the world, I guess.
Yes, and so, Bobby, when you say you went to 4 different high schools, is that because your dad happened to switch territories 4 times?
Yes.
So, like,
yeah,
you know,
except in Florida, where they had a junior high school, went to the 9th grade instead of the 8th grade, like most every place else.
Yes, sir.
So when you got out of the 9th grade, then you went to a different school for the 10th.
Baby Jesus, just pile it right on there, huh?
And then my junior year, I went to a little bitty town in Missouri, down by Springfield, Missouri. Fort.
Ooh, tough goings down there. If they
not really. There was only like, I don't know, 20 people in my class.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was a really small school.
Gotcha.
But that's where I got strong, is down on the farm when I hauled that hay and everything every summer.
So, like, just
you know,
so they don't.
I got my natural strength.
Your core strength. So, like Bobby and I, he's my brother. I would take a bullet for anybody in his family and him, and I mean that. I would. So, but the fans, they're not caught up on these stories, and you got to get this one. I want Bobby to tell it, but these boys now have got bales of hay that range from, Bobby, was it from 80 to 120?
Yeah, depending on what time of day.
Okay, so pick us up.
Because early in the morning it was heavier because of the dew, of course.
Of course
Sometimes
it was.
Real rocky down. It was a little rocky down there, and a lot of times they'd get rocks in their bales.
Nothing worse than getting rocks in your bales, huh? I'll tell you that.
Oh, makes them heavier. But I worked on the truck, so I got to handle every barrel twice. Well, and I say that like it was kind of neat, but really it wasn't.
Really solid, right? Really solid. So, like, okay, so your position. How many guys to do this field of wheat?
Let's see, 2 on the ground, sometimes 3, and me on the truck.
So you're the only one handling it twice?
Right, and I'd stack the hay on the truck, and then when we got to the barn, I'd just throw it up in the loft.
Holy cow.
So I think all those reps, which we probably averaged, I don't know, 1,000 bales a day.
How many days?
A bale, so
how many days in a row?
$10 a day. Oh, every day. You know, when it was time to do the hay, you just went out there every day, and that's what you did. Shoot is just...
Yeah. It's the way
not like nowadays. I mean, we were brought up to work,
Yes, sir. There is a difference between then and nowadays. So you're shucking hay, and the fact, were you a good student, Bobby?
I was above average, but I wouldn't say I was smart by any stretch of the imagination, although I did get through.
Gotcha. That in itself, though, Bob, having to carry all that baggage with you and get through on it. That's one of the things that makes Bobby Orton such a great man. I'm just going through another one in right now. Bobby Orton and I were at the Insane Clown Posse, 4:00 in the morning. Getting swerved again by these guys, about 10,000 clowns, running around. Oh, like they've snorted Drano. Bobby.
Yeah, they probably were.
Jeez. And Bobby just had 2 brand new plastic knees put in, and he's in the ring wrestling. It's like, and I remember we were parked in the car, and we were trying to figure out what to do, and the wrestling part, and it came to the creative part, and I said to Bobby, well, what do you think we ought to do? Bobby looks over at me and says, I think that's your department. I got mine covered. And I know I'm going all over the place here, but I got it. So Bobby and I are in the last WrestleMania on New Orleans. And, Bobby's seen me at my worst. I mean, even worse than that. And so we're pretty comfortable together. And Bobby's, he's scrunched up on a chair in a hotel room, and I'm not sure, I might be laying on the floor. And there's this magazine. I'll just allegedly say Time, because I can't remember what it was. And so Bobby's looking down, and he's not saying much, and, that's fair game and fair dinkum. And he goes down and finally goes, Roddy. Yeah, Bobby. It's got a billionaires list, and Vince is number 23. Don't you think you want to start getting along with him? So the whole WrestleMania last year, it didn't matter where Bobby was, I could hear 23. I know what the other one was. I was trying to remember. We were in a bar, and Bobby just told you the core work and stuff, and we haven't even got to Bobby's amateur experiences as an amateur wrestler, but some waitress or whatever, and Bobby's got his feet out somewhere like that, and they said, I'm going to get the bouncer. Bobby says, go ahead and get the bouncer. I ain't no damn basketball. At which point, the conveying of the message, the bouncer seemed to deem proper to get a nice half-hour break at that time. Maybe Bobby would have left by then. Boy, we had some fun.
We used to have some fun.
Oh, Bobby.
That's no joke. I miss it, but I think we stayed up a little bit too late some nights.
If the Hojos in Newark could talk, do you remember Buddy Rose would be coming, knocking on your door at 4:00 in the morning? What? And he'd go right by you and be taking the screen out of the sink of your hotel room. And I don't know what he was doing with them, but he finally burnt down his own hotel room. What? That wasn't enough to get us kicked out, though, was it?
No, they loved it. We spent a lot of time there. Before that, we're talking, for some of the fans, we want to keep them up to date, and we're talking WWE, etc. But Bobby and I and a whole lot of other guys were in Charlotte, North Carolina. I try to explain this, Bob, but I maybe need some help here. When I came to Charlotte, North Carolina, which I think was maybe 79 or 80 for Crockett, and every Tuesday
we all had to come and do approximately 92-minute and 54-second interviews, or whatever you had scheduled. You might have 50, you might have 30, you might have 90. And then get in the car and drive to Raleigh and wrestle that night. You know, and these kids now, they would shit a brick. Oops, push that button. But back then, Bobby, I was trying to remember the talent pool. So if you put your head back Tuesday morning in the TV studio, there was yourself, Dickie Slater,
Steamboat,
Youngblood,
Valentine, Youngblood,
the Briscoes,
Wahoo,
damn that Indian. You know what? Just Wahoo. You know what he'd do for the fans is he would tape up the second knuckle in your fingers, and he would tape it up with that white jock tape. And every time he'd chop you, he'd be ripping the flesh off you. You come out of there, it's like, yeah, literally, that's only a flesh wound.
He had unbelievable chops.
Oh,
man. I'll tell you who else had some chops was Greg the Hammer Valentine, with them little bitty thick hands like bricks.
No kidding.
I'll tell you a little story about, God, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we was in Chicago, Illinois, and in Springfield, Illinois the next night. And Chicago, he's hitting me with them chops. Now, I only wrestle maybe once or twice a month back then.
Yeah.
And so after the match, I said, Greg, I said, tomorrow in Springfield, forget the chops.
Ixnay the opche.
Yeah, I said, I don't do this enough. No, just forget the chops. He goes, okay, Bob, I promise. So we get to Springfield, and we're going along, and he backs me in the corner, and he reaches back for that chop, and I just stuck my finger up and wagged it at him. I said, no, you promised. And we got the biggest pop of the night.
They knew it was a shoot, right? You promised.
I said, you promised.
Oh, but he was, and I'd chop him back on everything I had in it. I couldn't, I had the rotator cuff was torn at the time, so I learned how to bring the hand straight down, and he'd have big welts, and that guy, he wouldn't even say ouch. He wouldn't put me over that damn old big Indian chief. I loved him to death. He wouldn't he wouldn't back up.
But they were some choppers back then.
Hey.
Bob Holly, I guess, was another one. I never did like that too much. It just stings. God,
yeah, and it's not the kind of thing where that the bodily injury is going to be such that you're going to win the match. It's just I don't know what it is. It's kind of a flare to the. I don't know what the hell it is. Why did they do that to us?
There's another chopper, Flair.
There's
Woo! But nothing like Wahoo. Nothing like Wahoo or Valentine.
No. There's
Sweet Hand.
I was just going to say that.
That was another. Oh my God! There was a powerful, powerful man.
What do you suppose Sweet Hansen weighed, Bobby?
He had to go. God, I don't know, 315.
Yeah, 315 natural. Now, well, if you can call him natural.
Right, just big and powerful. Yeah,
big and powerful. And I got to take a break, but before I do, when we come back, there's a story I think that you were telling me about Bob Backlund. Do you remember that story on Swede Hansen? If not, we're gonna jog it because I remember it well. We got to take a break and come back to one of the finest men I know, Bob Orton Jr. I love him. We'll take a break right now. Ow! TrueCar.com is changing car buying forever. Yes, every day, True Car users receive negotiation-free, guaranteed savings. Some features not available in all states. In the first 6 months of this year, over 275,000 cars were sold by the True Car Certified Dealership Network. True car users save an average of $3,201 off MSRP. When you're ready to buy a car, you just follow 3 easy steps. First, go to TrueCar.com and find out what other people paid for the car you're looking for. Then, register at TrueCar.com and see upfront pricing information and lock in your savings. The third step is simple. Just print out True Car Savings Certificate and take it to the True Car Certified Dealer for a better, hassle-free car buying experience. Remember, every day, True Car users receive negotiation-free, guaranteed savings. Save time, save money, and never overpay. Visit TrueCar.com today. That's TrueCar.com.
Let's go! The all-new Rich Eisen Show.
What is it?
What is it? Who better to tell you than Rich Eisen?
This is what we're going to have on the show. Just talking football along with music and movies and television shows. Interesting things of our pop culture landscape of which the NFL is part.
And that's all you really want at the end of the day.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Hold on a minute. This is probably my therapist.
Go to podcast1/Rich Eisen to hear every show.
Bobby Orton, Ace, Baby Jesus.
What is that before the bagpipe? Is that a pencil sharpener? What the hell is that?
I was just going to say, that was coming out of your mouth, is you should have seen Bobby when we first got together, and he was kind of had bagpipes, and he's kind of going, "What the are you doing?" I don't know. Just follow me.
Yeah, you played him pretty well.
Thank you.
Actually, it was great. Yeah, not that I'm into that kind of music.
No, I got you, but there's a lot. There's so many comments, and they don't get to talk to you. You don't do very many of these, Bobby, and that's why I'm so honored that you did it. My podcast. I'm so sincere on that, Bobby. I love you.
Anything for you, man. Anything for you. You know that.
Yeah, you're my family, man. And that's hard for us because, I don't have no family. There's not even a grave. It's true, grave site to visit. And Bobby, I'm as comfortable around Bobby as like a newborn babe. Bobby got a beautiful family. And so I want to ask this question to you, Bobby. So Mr. Orton was wrestling. About what time did you get into professional wrestling, and what did your dad think of it when you wanted to come up with that decision, or did you tell him? All right.
I didn't tell him, but he found out because he was working Florida, and I went down there to...
Like he wasn't going to find out, right?
Yeah, right. And all of a sudden I'm working out with Hiro Matsuda.
Oh, jeez.
And Dad's standing there in the sportatorium watching. Well, I guess he knows now.
Yeah.
But,
Hiro. Now, Hiro, wasn't he with Ken Patera on that incident? Was that Hiro?
No, that was Saito.
Saito. Right. Do you remember the story?
Yeah, that was Milwaukee. They tried to go to McDonald's and then it closed.
It was him and who was it? Patera.
One of them threw a brick through the window and tried to grab a hamburger. I guess I don't know, but
yeah.
But shoot, I think they both did time for that. A little bit.
So just so you folks get back in the attitude that we had back in those days, and like said Ken Patera and was it Saito? And the way I heard it too was, they wanted a hamburger in the McDonald's, and you could get it by driving through, but you couldn't walk in, and so they tried to walk through, right? Wrestlers.
Right.
But Saito kind of, dummy, and away he went to his room, and nobody really knows what happened, but somehow a brick came through the window of the McDonald's, and then, I don't know, everybody left. And now...
the cops went to the hotel, and they actually got into it, I think, Saito. He didn't speak good English.
Yeah.
And they scared him, and he started fighting.
And he broke...
But anyway, the whole thing was a mess. But
he broke the state
politics,
trooper's back.
You don't like politics. Huh?
He broke the state, the Saito, the way I heard it, the highway patrol, and they were coming in, and Saito didn't really understand what was going on, and he got maced, and he it was a gal, and he picked her up and broke her back.
Wow.
Or her, whatever that means. Yeah.
Yeah, that I didn't know, but I believe it, because I know they did some time, and it wasn't very good.
So can you imagine coming from the matches, going to jail for 2 years? That's our life.
Oh,
holy cow! And how did he keep his patience?
Horrible.
How did he keep his patience? Nuts.
See, what was that guy's name who used to work with Slaughter?
Canoodle?
Corporal Kirshner.
Corporal Kirshner.
Yeah, he got in trouble in Japan. He got into it with some people and ended up over there in jail for 2 years. Could you imagine that?
No, 2 years?
2 years. He come back, he couldn't weigh 180 pounds, and he said all they gave him to eat was rice and the head of a fish and water. That was his food.
I can see Flair being there. I said shrimp for hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He couldn't even stand up in his jail cell. He couldn't stand up all the way. It was too short.
Oh, and Kernoodle wasn't, I mean, he was stocky, but he wasn't a tall guy. If it was that small. How did...
the guy that was
Kirshner, I'm sorry, Kirshner, Corporal Kirshner.
Yeah, that's okay.
How the hell did we stay out of jail?
I have no idea, especially with some of the stuff I pulled in Japan. Shit, I broke a guy's leg one night. He spit in my face.
Oh!
I ran him into a car and broke his leg. And you know what I had to do, Ronnie?
No.
I had to take a basket of fruit to the hospital and sign his cast.
That was it?
That was it.
Let's not tell Saito.
No shit.
Holy cow. Yeah, so, because that was what would happen back in those days, is if we got into trouble like that, and the promoter was half decent, like you just said, sign a fruit basket, go over and say hi ho, and you were out.
Yeah.
They're not...
I put 3 mafia guys in the hospital over there on the island of, Kushu.
And they all wanted to arm wrestle?
And they was wanting to arm wrestle, the guy from Dallas. He was originally from England, and he moved to Dallas, Chris Adams. Oh,
Chris Adams, yeah.
Yeah, he was arm wrestling these guys on a glass tabletop.
Yeah.
And his arm went through the tabletop. And stupid me, I went up and I asked the guy I said, we need a doctor. And he looks at me and smiles. Huh? Doctor. And I'm thinking, it finally dawned on me, this guy don't speak English. So anyway, here comes the guy who owns the bar, actually promoted the show, but I didn't know that. Got his 2 bodyguards behind him. And I told him, I said, hey, we need a doctor for this guy.
Yeah.
And I kind of got close to him, I guess, and one of his bodyguards punched me in the eye.
You kidding?
When he did, I took all 3 of them out.
I bet you did.
And then I went back to my room, and I was smart enough to put a chair under my knob.
Yeah.
When I woke up in the morning, the chair was bent damn near in half, but they couldn't get in.
It's a hell of a knob. No, go ahead.
Then here come the cops. The cops took me down to question me. I sat there and I said, I'm not answering a question. The guy representing me goes, why not? I said, because I need some beer. And he sent out and got me 6 big Kieran bottles. So I sat there and I talked to him and drank my beer. I finished it. They kept at. I said, I'm done talking. Why? Because I'm out of beer. And they went and got me 6 more. But I couldn't go back to that island the rest of the time that I went back to Japan, which I used to go, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd always leave me in Osaka when they went to Kyushu.
Gotcha.
So I just stayed in Osaka. But God, what horrible punishment that was. Osaka was near like Tokyo. I mean, no matter what you wanted, it was there.
Yeah, two of them.
So I didn't mind staying there.
No, you know, Bobby, I got kicked out.
But I guess if I went back to that island, they were going to kill me. That was the story anyway, but I thought,
no, I believe that. You know,
they'd come over to Osaka, you know.
But, you know, save face thing that they got over there, and I believe that it was a good thing you didn't go over to the island.
Probably.
You know, I got kicked out of Japan for life. I'm still kicked out. And this was in, I think, 79.
Wow.
I know. And then just like to do the Cliff Notes. Yeah, you're laughing at me. You're such a dog, man. Do you remember the time? It's just a good ADD hour here. Do you remember the time? It's Sunday afternoon, and you and Morocco were in one hotel room watching football, and like we had adjoining doors, and I was in the other hotel room exfoliating my skin for beauty or whatever I was doing, right? And so, and for those out there, you know, Bobby will attest, this is the God's truth. Because it's going to be hard for you to believe. So, Morocco and Mr. Bob Orton are in the one room, and the football's going on, you know, and I'm in the other room, and I'm brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden, you know, a big upset, you know, Baylor, you know, interception. Holy cow. And they got, isn't that something? And boom, and touchdown, Baylor. You know, and I'm doing my hair, and I'm, holy cow. And then, like, another play, like, another interception for Baylor. And I swear to God, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about football. And I really tried sincerely.
I do remember this, yeah.
I really tried to fit in sincerely. And so with all...
sure is good, isn't he?
That's it. I walk in and I say, geez, that Baylor, he's a hell of a player. Bob Orton and Don Morocco looked at me like, get out of the room now. Never. Holy cow. Fun times. Morocco was a big... yourself... who are the cliques back then? Yourself, Bobby, yourself, Don Morocco, Brother Fuge, Adrian Adonis, I guess.
Adrian, yeah.
Yeah, who I get Bret Hart came later on. He was more a journeyman, sure. You know, a journeyman in it. Maybe Mr. Perfect. You know, and people, and people would say to me, you know, you guys cause so much trouble. And what they don't understand is we finally, you know, we really tried. We're all family men. I'm talking right now to one of the greatest family men in our business. And what we would do at nighttime is you could have anything you wanted, but we would all get into one guy's room or a room that had two of them, and the bathtub would be full of beer, and, you know, we could tell our lies or do whatever we wanted, but you couldn't leave the room because you're going to get into trouble. And guys would go, you know.
Yeah, we were pretty smart that way, though, you know, keeping it in the rooms like that. But you got to remember, back in those times, we used to work every night. Sometimes we'd have double shots.
Yeah, which is brutal.
Where you'd work one. Remember, they'd put us on the opening match in like Detroit, and then fly us to Chicago. We'd get there in time for the main event.
Yeah, and they also used to do, was it Greensboro, Toronto was another one?
Right.
You know, and boy, if I was a cocaine smuggler, I could have made a fortune.
The TVs used to be done in one night. You know, we'd do one night in Allentown and one night in Hamburg, I think it was.
Yeah.
You didn't do one show, you did three.
That's right. 3 shows. And the amount of interviews during the daytime before the...
Right, and sometimes we'd be on the road over 100 days in a row without getting off.
brother.
So, we had to stash the beer in
we did.
the tub, I mean, we had to. Shoot, what else are you going to do?
Because
finally
anybody...
you get to come. Matter of fact, it got so bad, if I was flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, I could stop here for 2 or 3 hours and then fly back out. So I did all that at my own expense.
Yeah, just try to keep some kind of sanity. I can remember, Bobby, like 90, like you and I were always together, something like 90 or 100 days. And I actually had to check in a hotel room for a couple of days before going home because neither one of us are domestically violent men. Neither one of us. I don't want to just speak for Bobby. He speaks for himself, but I've never seen it. And it was so difficult on you emotionally, physically, intellectually, morally. It was so difficult. We kept trying to come up with new paths to stay alive, and then we'd lose somebody, and and so that'd make us start drinking, and tell about that fella that and another guy, and they have no idea. I can remember in the Hojos in Pittsburgh. They got it's like 11 a.m. And both you and I got to bed about 10:59. Snatch our butt up, and there's Mean Gene in room 254. There's the backdrop, and you'd kick out. I'd kick out. I don't know what was needed. 12, 15 interviews. Now go back to bed. Then they get you.
Right.
Right. What a training ground. What a training.
You ain't kidding.
Holy cow, what a training. And we remember that we were talking about Charlotte and who was on the rosters, and we didn't even get to a lot of great guys, but another one, Dusty Rhodes.
Don Cornoodle, which I mentioned earlier, but Don was down there.
Yeah. There wasn't a bad one in the bunch. I'm not even sure that, and it's almost that same pool of talent that made the move from Charlotte to New York. Pretty close.
Right.
But those guys, those guys, go ahead. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Hogan come in from Minneapolis, I think.
That's right.
And so did, the big guy's son. Gosh, I know his name.
Big guy's son.
I forget.
Andre the Bigger Giant?
Just a while ago.
Andre the Bigger Giant?
No, Larry the X Hennig.
Oh, jeez.
Kurt Hennig.
Oh, Mr. Perfect, yeah. Mr. Perfect. So, one time we're in the WCW, and they got this thing where Sting is supposed to magically appear, and I know I got to take a break. I'm getting this out first. Sting was supposed to magically appear, and there was going to be fog and all these wrestlers, and so what they needed to do, they needed like 5 wrestlers to get under the ring and stay there the whole card before the people come in, and then come out whenever. And Mr. Perfect, he went into the bathroom, and he had a little bit of a tummy ache, and in a paper bag he left a deposit, and boom, just like the 1 minute the people are coming in, and Mr. Kurt slipped under that apron. Hey boys, how you doing, bro? Just left that bag there. He says, well, do a good job. See you later. And that bag stunk so bad. They cursed him. I got to take a break. We'll be right back with the one, the only, my best man, Bobby Orton Jr. And they don't call him Junior anymore, brother. We'll be right back. God bless you. Yeehaw! Look out, baby. Yeah, I once was a soldier, a Scottish soldier, who wandered far away and left a bag of poop under the ring. Those guys were so angry. I didn't see the problem, but I wasn't under the ring.
Right, exactly.
One thing with Kurt never stopped.
No, all the time.
Yeah,
constantly.
Torching you all the time. He was, I miss him.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a lot of them. Adrian, I miss Adrian.
Oh, man, I do. I did a trip to Newfoundland, I don't know, maybe like 8-9 months ago. And there was this pastor, or he wasn't a priest, but like a pastor of a church, who wrote me a very detailed note. And I stopped where their car went off the road, and the pastor was in the ambulance that was first on the scene with Adrian, and I think it was the Kelly twins, and explained it to me. And you know, that's the last funeral I ever went to. I did the eulogy at the funeral, and you know, Bobby, I know you were there, but one thing that Adrian, you know, we were just popping around, and like when Adrian and I were 22 years old, they called us, we were a tag team, they called us the 22s, you know, and so we had history. And I remember going with Adrian down the road, and he, you know, hey, Pipes, you know, what do you think, you know? Adrian, you know, I've been working out. How do I look? Yeah, your chest looks like a road map of upstate New York. All right. But I mean, you know, you look great, Adrian.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, Adrian.
Yeah, he's a lot of
fun.
fun.
What a performer. Yeah,
holy, he could do anything. That oblong body is, he could do anything. What he had said to me is, we were rolling down the, you know, talking, and he says to me, you know, Pipes, when I die, I don't want a funeral and people crying and weeping. Throw a party, you know, and you know, a year later.
Yeah.
Now I'm up doing the eulogy, and I'm having a bit of a tough time, but I got a pretty good game face on, you know, and the guys that drive you from the ceremony to where he's being buried, they were smart asses. They wanted to talk wrestling. And, you know, and I got up there to do the eulogy, and I was nervous, really nervous. And Adrian's family had a curtain drawn in front of them, and Adrian's casket was closed. And I got around to what Adrian had told me, you know, that, you know, hey, his spirit lives on. He says, I don't want people feeling sorry for me. You know, throw a party. And Bobby, this sound,
yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
It came out of his wife's, came from his wife. I can't mimic the sound, but it's the last funeral I went to. Yeah, I
went to one yesterday. A buddy of mine died in town here. We watched the football games every Saturday. You know, we love the college games.
Yeah. How long did you know him?
Oh God, over 20 years.
My goodness. How old was he?
Yeah. Young. Let's see, 57 or 8.
Holy cow!
So,
how are we still here, bud?
I have no idea.
I remember one time.
I know this much. I'd have taken a lot better care of myself if I thought I was going to live this long. That's for darn sure.
Amen, brother. I remember one time, now maybe you can help me with this because my memory's splattered here, but we're in Poughkeepsie, and once every 3 weeks, in one day, we would do 3 weeks of television in Poughkeepsie and 3 Piper's Pits and wrestle whatever you had to wrestle. And, you know, it was a long day. And then that's where we did that album, Land of a Thousand Dancers. And there's Meatloaf banging, and it's like 1:30 in the morning. And anyway, you and I are coming home from Poughkeepsie, and I think we both lived in Woodbridge at the time, New Jersey. And we decided we wanted sushi.
Oh.
So we took a hard left from the New Jersey State Park line, whatever it is, and Bobby's driving, I'm just shotgun, and we find a sushi place right downtown Manhattan, and we're so happy we get out of that car, and we go, how long do you think we were in there, Bobby, eating sushi and drinking beer? Just a good guess.
God, I don't know, an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's a solid guess. Hour 10. So we get full, and and we kind of stroll. Do you have a toothpick? Yes. Let me get some of this, this raw fish from my teeth. And we come out, and there's Bobby's car, and the car's double parked, but it's locked because Bobby's responsible. In the back of the car was the window, and my Halliburton was just in plain sight. And there was all these police around the car. We couldn't understand it. And how many guys did they have, Bobby? 2 or 3?
Yeah, there were 2 guys there they had.
2 guys
And, first thing I thought is, I double parked, so they're going to get me for double parking. Is what I thought first. And then get up to the car, and the cops are there, and they got the 2 guys, and I noticed my car was running. So I left the keys in ignition with the car running. I thought, well, shit, it was cold. I must have wanted to leave the heater on. I don't know.
And so,
but then the cops wanted to know if we wanted the guys arrested. As dumb as what we just know.
No.
I don't blame him. I'd have tried just to get in out of the cold.
Matter of fact, you should give them the damn car just for effort.
Yeah.
And the 147 New York policemen that were around the car are looking at us like, are you shitting me, man? We've been trying to... They had him handcuffed, and we got back in the car and made our way safely home. There was something happened every night. Every night. I still get asked about this. I still lie quite a bit about it, too. The infamous Fresno trip.
I thought it was a rib. In my defense, I thought it was a rib.
Your Honor, let court begin. Now,
but I was on, 5th or 6th floor, and I get a phone call. They got your 2 buddies down here handcuffed, getting ready to take them to jail. They want to know if you'll come bail them out. So I'm thinking, this has got to be a joke. Well, I sleep in the buff.
Naked, yes.
Which I understand is not good for your weight, because if you don't have clothes on when you're sleeping, you get a little bit cooler, so your body burns a little bit. Yeah, there's reasons.
All scientific stuff, surely.
But but anyway, I thought I'd peek out over the railing and see what was going on down there. Well, there's nobody out. 3 or 4 in the morning.
And you guys, Bobby, let me say this. All where Bobby's at, the hallway, all the floors overlook you can look down and you can see the main desk. And so now Bobby is in his birthday suit, and he gets a call. He opens the door, take it from there.
Well, I lean out from my door. I still got the door handle in my hand.
Yeah.
And I can't quite see over that railing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stretch, and just as I see you guys, I hear click. I went, oh, shit. So now I got to holler down and hey, would someone come up and let me back in my room? So here comes a guy with 5 or 6 cops.
Oh, baby.
So,
now, Bobby's now naked in the hallway. Go ahead, Bobby. I'm just keeping it clean.
Well, I tuck myself between my legs, and they come up. And said, sorry, sorry, but I locked myself out, God, I wish I'd grabbed the towel, but I didn't. But anyway, so I go in my room, and the cop starts to come. I said, you guys can't come in here. I'll be right out. And I pulled my jeans on. As I pulled my jeans on, I started to grab my shirt.
Yeah.
And I see this guy with his gun pointed at me, and all of a sudden I hear bang, bang, bang. And
this was inside your room?
Yeah.
I never knew where you got it.
Oh, sure. And your mind goes a million miles an hour. The first thing I thought, this son of a bitch just shot me.
Yes.
And then I remembered I saw these little strings behind whatever was coming at me. And at the same time, I looked down, and I saw these 3 things stuck in my belly.
Called tasers, Bobby.
On the floor, and I told that guy, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And I started walking at him, and the mother cops got him out of the room.
Because
and
they didn't understand. They thought that you weren't with us. You were with us as far as part of the group, but they didn't understand that you were with Don and I prior, did they?
No, I don't think they knew that. They just thought I was coming down, and I was some idiot who locked myself out of my room naked.
And then
I have no idea why the guy shot. I guess he just figured I'll put this big wrestler down. Well, I showed him. I pulled out his little thing. I don't know what they were.
They were like they had little.
Supposed to be some electric thing.
Yes.
But your mind works so fast. All that stuff went through my mind so fast. And when I looked down and I saw him, I got him out of me. It couldn't have been a half a second.
Yeah.
All that shit went through my mind.
Yeah.
And I threw that, and I thought, boy. And then I got mad.
Did you ever? You stupid barinka. Oh, we could hear it all the way down to the lobby. You stupid barinka. Only a cop could be that. I ain't no basketball.
Yeah, anyway.
But the thing was, go,
life
Bobby.
goes on. Life goes on. That's all I can say. We made it through another night.
We lived. The only thing is, I'm the only one that went to jail.
I heard, yeah.
I heard.
They let Morocco go.
And you know why they put me in jail? Because I had... whatever airplane I took, I had to go right from the airplane to the building because I was late. And when we came back to I think it was a riot house, maybe. I think maybe a riot house or whatever hotel it was. I was the only one that hadn't checked in, so they arrested me for vagrants.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and boom, they put me in the cell. And so, first thing in the cell, you know what you got to do. You got to claim your turf. So I claimed my turf, and now I'm sitting down, and one of these policemen comes in from Fresno, and he goes, "So, we got any of them WWF wrestlers yet?" You know me.
They made me go to the hospital because of the holes in my belly. They wanted to get them cleaned up.
Well,
we're driving to the hospital, and the guy's talking to me, and I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm not going to sue you."
Yeah.
I said, "But if you wouldn't mind, if you could get that one guy back up to my room." I said, "That I'd appreciate." And I said, "I'm not the kind of guy that sues somebody." I said, "Stuff happens."
Now I've been on an amateur wrestling mat with Bobby, and I even had top. And, I might as well have had a milkshake. Trying to budge him was just a lame attempt at anything, trying to move Bobby. We got in a hell of a riot in outside of St. Louis one day, too. It was a lot rougher back then, wasn't it, Bobby?
Yeah, a lot rougher.
Rougher. Yeah. I remember we were up in Well, you know what they did for those folks that don't know? What McMahon did to us, this Piper's Pit segment with Ace, and let's set the record straight right now. Piper's Pit would have been nothing without Ace. Ace, that's the God's truth. True. Yes, sir. Ace was put there for a couple of reasons. One is because he's one tough boy. Okay. Two, I don't know anybody that can outperform Bob Orton in that ring in any kind of way. And we complimented each other. But just the way, that cat you had on, you looked like a bloody Quaker. But then you had like Mingo's Indian's vest on. And then this is the only man he holds, ladies and gentlemen, holding the Guinness Book of World Records for broke arms. My man, Ace, Bobby Orton. Do you remember doing that interview with the doctor?
I remember doing the thing with the doctor, yeah. We tried to prove to him arm was still broke. He didn't believe it, but it was.
It was. I can remember there was...
That's why they call it the practice of medicine.
The practice of medicine. And I can remember this doc.
He was practicing.
He was being so sincere, and we got on this tangent going... And there's Vince, and Vince is biting his lip. Either, kill him or give him a medal. But, right. We had so many different outlets for us. So much fun. But back then, so many different ways to make your name commercial, only if you had the talent. Back then, you had more openings than they do now, And I want to. I'm running out of time again. I know I'm all hurry. Unless Bobby Orton doesn't want me to, then I'm staying right here. But Bobby, what I tried to allude to, because it's a good question for me to know, because of course Colt, my son, and Colt is an amateur. He's undefeated MMA fighter, and he loves amateur wrestling. He just go into a tournament. He won't even train for it. But when he went into
I pushed around with him a little bit in Los Angeles, and he's stout.
For 180 pounds, he's punching
OG stuff.
Yeah. He's punching 315 and he knows his balance and etc. And that's probably the best compliment Colt will ever get in his life. With Mr. Orton says that he could hold his own. That's quite a compliment.
You ain't kidding. For 180, and at the time I weighed probably 100 pounds more than he did. I couldn't hardly move it.
I love you too, buddy. I love you. So when you, with your dad, now you're coming into the business, just how did your dad react once he found out, listen, he's in it, he's going to be a lifer? Was there ever a point when Mr. Orton Sr. said, all right, son, here we go? He always had a voice that scared me to death, but...
Yeah.
Was there?
Me too.
I got it. So what I'm getting at is Bobby, because you've had to live this from your dad, and then you have Randy, who everybody's got opinions. Just in my humble opinion, is probably the best in the world right now, and has been for a while. He is just so solid in everything he does in the ring, and. He's also, as his father and his grandfather, he's a total gentleman. How do you feel first about when your dad said okay, and how do you feel about when you had to say okay to Randy? Because I want to say no to Colt.
Right.
That's a tough one, I know.
Dad, he wanted me to be an orthodontist.
An orthodontist,
which was way too much work.
Gotcha.
School, I don't know. Campus living is what I majored in when I went to college, and unfortunately, you have a lot of fun, but you don't learn much.
Not a lot of credits for.
Not a lot of credits. A lot of W's. I withdrew from everything.
So you're in college? You were in college, Bobby? Were you in college when you made your mind up that, hey, I'm going to give this a shot?
Well, I had met my wife and got married and realized I better do something.
Okay.
And it's the only thing I know is how to wrestle, how to fight. So
yeah.
So that's
there. Now I understand it. Yeah, I can remember that. You're what? No, go ahead and book that with Andre, too. Again? Listen, I don't know who you're seeing, Mom, but you got to stop this shit. It's a motivator there, isn't it? You know, but for that to be a motivator, the man that's being motivated has to be one hell of a man, and that's you. When Randy now finally came to you, how did he do it? If you don't mind, if I'm going over the line here, don't let me.
No, he had joined the service, and you've got to be a certain type of guy to go through there, especially when there's no war or anything going on.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so he was the type of kid that wanted to do stuff, and there wasn't nothing to do. And then you get the guys who abuse their authority, and whatever happened. But he decided that he wanted out, and he got out.
Gotcha.
And then I took him down, and I introduced him to Jack Lanza here in town.
Oh, he's a great guy.
And we had just started him in school here, junior college.
Yeah.
And we asked Jack if they'd wait until May when we got out of school. This was probably in, I don't know, January or something like that, February.
Gotcha.
And they called just a couple of days later, flew him up to Stamford and signed him, and he dropped out of school and went down to that old VW or whatever it is there in Louisville.
Sure. Yeah.
And started learning.
Well,
I started learning his trade.
Gotcha. And there, at that point, there is no room for no more opinions. Is that when they get to that point? I know with Colty boy, my son. The more I try to suggest a school or something, the more resistance I get. I don't know.
Yeah.
Certain
people just aren't, that's not what you're cut out for.
Yes, sir.
And if you're not cut out for it, then, you got to find something you like so you can enjoy life.
Yeah. Now you have another boy who, holy cow. Nathan. Nathan. It just comes true. You know what? You got a family. You got a great man, Mr. Bob Orton Sr., and he makes great men. He made Bob Orton Jr., who made Randy, who made Nathan. And what a young man he is. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He works for a chemical company here in town.
Yeah.
Sigma Aldridge, I think's the name of it.
Uh-huh.
He does stand-up comedy. Before that, he used to fight in the MMA like Colt.
Gotcha.
But he had hip dysplasia.
Okay.
And he needed an operation. He had to break his femur and realign everything and carve out some of his hip and realign all the tendons and retie everything and 9 screws in his hip, there for a while.
Woof.
So that kind of put an end to the MMA stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd gone to college, and had his degree and started his job, and he started doing stand-up comedy. And last year, every year they do I don't know what you call it.
Like a comedy, Last Man Standing or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How'd he do?
His very first year, he finished in the top 10, wow. And last year he won. Come in first.
He come in first last year?
Yeah. Actually, I guess it's earlier this year.
That's my boy. Just do a little business here while we're on the phone. I'm actually in the Hall of Fame of the Comedy Store in Sunset Boulevard. Meaning,
what I understand.
Yeah, and I take care of him like he's my own boy. Bring him down there, and they're vultures there. A bunch of young guys just drooling, waiting to go on.
Man.
Yeah, it would give them a good taste of what it is, and I'm sure he'd do great. I'd love to do that. Pass that on to him, would you?
Yeah, I talked to him about that, Roddy, and he wants to wait till he's better.
Smart.
But I can tell you one of his jokes real quick. Just
Go.
Going off the top of my head. He said he finally had a three-way.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, she was pregnant.
I love you. I just love you. Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast that'll never end. I love you with all my heart, Bobby. Holy cow, when do we see each other again? When do you think? Got WrestleMania coming up. We might waltz into each other there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so far. I've gone to the last 2 or 3, so I think this one got us way out on the West Coast, and I think I'm going to stay home for this one and see where they go next year.
Geez, can I come over?
But maybe one of these autograph things.
Yeah.
Last year I ran into you, 2 or 3 times we ran into each other on the
and it was great.
Autograph.
You know what when they talk about like Van Gogh drawing a masterpiece. How can you tell that it's a masterpiece? Well, they say every time you look at the painting, it strikes you with the same awness, or awesomeness, whatever it is, no matter how many times you look at it. And how can you tell when you've got a real, true blue friend that has everything to offer the world? Every time I see Bob Orton, it sparkles and it never rubs off, and it's just the same. It's a masterpiece. And that's you, Bobby. And I love you.
Well, thank you, Roddy.
I love you.
I certainly do enjoy every time I see you.
Yeah.
We sure have a good time. Yeah.
We sure do.
Just remember number 23, Daddy.
Piper, 23. He's a billionaire. Bobby, give Nathan, get everybody in the family a big hug. All the love for my family. Bud,
you do the same for me.
I sure will. And let's do it again. Let's not wait till I get thrown in jail again. And I love you with all my heart. Ladies and gentlemen,
all right, Roddy.
Bob Orton Jr., Ace. They call him Ace is because he don't lose. Love you to death. Next week, I got Bobcat Goldthwait. I got Doc Carpenter coming up. And a giraffe. A giraffe that we found that we're going to give away. So till next week, look out, baby. Here I come. Piper's Pit. We'll see ya.